Welcome back to the Fast Forward Sailing YouTube channel. In this video we're going to be covering all you need to know before SailGP kicks off in Plymouth this weekend. We'll be going over the timings and how to watch the event. We'll look at the forecasts, we'll look at the teams and whether there's any crew changes. We'll be looking at the current leaderboard and I'll be giving you my predictions for the event. Now just quickly before we kick off, here's a quick explanation of SailGP for those who've only just come across it. So SailGP is sailing's premier sailing league. It's raced in 50-foot foiling catamarans called F50s, which can reach speeds of over 50 knots. It's comparable to the America's Cup World Series or the now extinct Extreme Sailing Series. The F50s are just modified versions of the boats used in the 2017 America's Cup. There are 8 teams competing in this season of SailGP. Spain are currently on top, with Great Britain and Japan filling the other 2 podium positions. But that could all change around this weekend because we're very early on in the series. You'll notice the points are scored high to low, so unlike some sailing events you may be used to, more points is good. So just to explain a bit about how the scoring works, if you win a race, you get the maximum 8 points. If you come second, you get 7, and if you're finishing in last, you just get 1 point. At the end of each event, there is a final between the top 3 boats. All of the points that went before are now irrelevant. They were just to qualify you for the final, and it's a winner-takes-all final, so the boat that finished third in the series could theoretically go on to win it if they won that final race. The scoring of the league as a whole is similar to the scoring of each event, with the winner of each event getting the most points. And at the end of the series, the 3 highest ranking teams compete to win the biggest prize in sailing of $1 million. In the last grand final, Australia and Japan were the final 2, with Tom Slingsby's Australia coming out on top. Now, I believe they've changed the format slightly from last time in that they are now including 3 boats in the final. The only reasoning I see for this is to make SailGP a bit different from other events and maybe make what would have been a match race a little bit more interesting by adding that extra dimension with another boat. Let me know your thoughts on why you think SailGP has the 3 boat finals and whether you like them. So now on to the important stuff, namely how to watch the event. If you're lucky enough to live in the UK, you can go and visit yourself. Tickets are available on the website last time I checked. I'll be there, so it will be good to see some of you down there. For those of you watching the event from home, there are several options. In the UK, we can watch it on Sky Sports. But if you haven't got Sky Sports, there is of course YouTube. There's the SailGP app. I haven't ventured into the world of a SailGP app yet, so I'd be interested in anyone's thoughts on it. Do you think there's any advantages in downloading it? I'm open to being convinced. So I believe some countries have had trouble viewing the event on YouTube. I believe this is because of geographic restrictions. So maybe worth Googling ahead of time how you can maybe subvert those restrictions. I know someone more techie than me was explaining how to do it. It may be worth joining the fast growing SailGP fans Facebook group and you can ask all your questions in there. So on to the timings. First day of racing, 17th of July, Saturday, 2 o'clock British summer time. If you want to know what the time is in your local time, just Google BST to whatever your local time zone is, and you should be able to work it out from that. Also, the YouTube countdown should give you the time of the event. I'll also be posting regular event updates throughout the weekend and afterwards, so if you don't want to miss those, all you have to do is click the subscribe button and then the alerts bell, and you need to click the alerts bell if you want to get the alerts each time I release a new video. I'll also attempt to post some behind the scenes footage while I'm at the event in Plymouth this weekend. So if you'd like to see that, head over to my Facebook page or Instagram page. Links to those will be in the description. Right, on with the video. Let's have a look at the forecast for the event. Looking like very light winds at the moment. I did look a few days ago and Sunday was actually looking decent. There were some quite strong winds coming through at the tail end of the weekend, but it looks like that's all disappeared without trace. Temperatures will be very high, which will be nice for us live spectators. For once in England, we're actually having some nice weather. Now, it could all change, but it's looking likely it's going to be a light wind event. There is no sign of stronger winds in sight until maybe Tuesday, which is quite far off and still not that strong. But I'm not too worried about the wind or lack of it affecting the event. We had a great event in Toronto under pretty light conditions, so I'm confident they can pull it off again this weekend. Likely we'll see the reduced crew numbers on board again. So if you remember back to the Italy SailGP event, some of the time they were racing with a reduced crew to save weight. Obviously not great for the sailors who missed out, but it does get around that problem of not being able to run racing in the light winds. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on this. Do you think that's something they should continue with in Plymouth? Now, before we get on to my predictions for the event, we're just going to go over a few little bits of SailGP news that have come out in the last week or so. First article here we have is pressure goes on New Zealand SailGP, backup crew in England. A lot of the teams are still racing with a reduced crew because of the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. New Zealand co-CEOs Pete Burling and Blair Tuke are of course out in their 49er practicing, hoping to win another gold medal in a few weeks' time. New Zealand Finn sailors Josh Jr. and Andy Maloney have also jumped ship to prepare for the Olympics. So New Zealand really have been stripped of some of their top talent. It will be interesting to see how they perform this weekend. Swiss star Arnaud Sarafagis, who helmed for the New Zealanders last time, is going to helm again, while James Werbowski, I hope that's how you pronounce it, is going to take over from Maloney as flight controller, and America's Cup winner Marcus Hansen steps in to replace Junior. Commenting on their performance in the last event, Saunders says, "We race well in those tricky light conditions. That's something we have to keep going forwards." So that's another reason I wouldn't write them off. The light winds coming up this weekend could be a big advantage for them. Let's get on to the last news article. So Cadiz, hopefully that's how you pronounce it, probably not, are going to be hosting a SailGP event in October. Cadiz is in Spain, so it will be a home event for the Spanish team, which is currently leading. So it should be a good event. The temperature in October in Spain should be perfect, so if you're picking an event to travel to, this might be a good one to pick. Right, to finish up, I'm going to give you my predictions for the event. Last time I did this, I got some pretty right, and others not so much, so take this with a grain of salt. This is the current championship table. We got Spain on top, Great Britain, Japan, but it's not entirely accurate. The US have been sailing extremely well, and they just got really unlucky, frankly, being taken out in one event by Japan's Nathan Outeridge, and the next event being taken out by, my best guess is, a big fish. So fingers crossed it's third time lucky for the United States. Now in case that doesn't happen, I'm going to give you my predictions based on skill, because you can't really predict bad luck. So Spain are looking pretty good. They've been the surprise of the event. I don't believe on skill level they should technically be in first place, but they should certainly be up there. Great Britain's an interesting one. Paul Goodison stepped on board replacing Ben Ainslie last event in Italy, and Paul Goodison is on board again. Interestingly, for those who are wondering, the reason that Ben Ainslie did not sail in Toronto and won't be sailing in Plymouth is because his wife Georgie gave birth to their second child on Monday. So congratulations Ben, we hope to see you on the water soon. So no baby distraction for Nathan Outeridge, who is currently lying in third. If I had to put my money on someone to be winning this event, it would be Team Japan, who won in the light winds in Italy. For New Zealand, I'm going to be predicting a mid-fleet finish, simply because they're missing a lot of their top talent, though if there's only 3 sailors on the boat, potentially that won't make much of a difference. However, it is only their third event sailing the F50s, so I wouldn't be surprised with a higher finish, especially due to the lighter winds which they perform in. But I'm going to put them in about 4th, 5th place. France has shown some promise, but I don't see them finishing in the top half. Australia, bad event last time, brilliant event in Bermuda. I think Italy was just a dull event for them, and I expect to see them back up near the top of the leaderboard. Jimmy Spithill and the US team, I expect they'll be taking advantage of the Olympic casualties on board some of the other boats, so I expect to see them in the mix. And lastly, Denmark. They've shown some improvement in the last event, but personally I don't see them finishing in the top half. Interestingly, there's a 3-part SailGP documentary about Denmark that you can check out on YouTube. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on it. I've watched the first episode. It was kind of interesting, but perhaps if I wasn't really into sailing, I wouldn't watch it. So back onto the predictions. Top 3, I think, are going to be some order of Japan, Australia and the US. I think 4th place is going to be a battle between Spain and Great Britain. Great Britain with a home advantage, but missing Sub-N. So if I have to give you an exact order, I'm going to go with Japan, US, Australia, Great Britain, then Spain. But that could be completely wrong. One thing we know about the SailGP fleet is it often doesn't end up how you predict. But predicting it is fun, so I'd be interested in hearing your predictions for the event. Are they different than mine? What do you think of my predictions? Let me know in the comments below. So I'll finish the video there. Again, if you don't want to miss my videos over the weekend, press the subscribe button and the notification bell. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.